Limitation and impossibility is where? In the mind. And that's why God says how God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you are able to ask or imagine. Your imagination is very powerful.
You're listening to Dominion Voice by Pastor Lanre, Ajanaku.
I was reading recently about the person that started Uber. You know, Uber taxi. I was told that this man does not have a single vehicle. And millions of vehicles work for him. Why? Through an idea. He came up with an app. You have a car? Come. You need a service of your car? Just call, dial on the app, somebody will come pick you. And the person gets paid and he takes a portion. And today, he's blown it up. Where did that idea come from? Just recently. Just recently. But if he had ignored it, and let me tell you the truth, when he started, yes, he would have stumbled a bit, but he didn't stop. Recently, I was reading that they now want to have Uber self-driven car, where there is no driver. And the car drives, not just need to do, the car will drive. And they've tested it, they've tried it, but they have to stop it. Why? Because it does not, they're trying to work on the sensor part. There was a time it was driving itself and somebody crossed the road, who or not, and the car hit him. So, okay, we have to improve on it. But I tell you, self-driven cars is a matter of time, it's going to come. Yes. Self-driven cars, it's going to come. You just see the car, you just drive onto your house, you look into the car. Is there a spirit that is in here? If you have said this possibly in 1950, even 1980, that a car will drive itself, people will say it's not possible. You see, you know what I'm talking about? You say, oh, it's not possible for a car to drive itself. But there is nothing called impossible. An idea. What idea has dropped into you? Those are intangible wealth. The next is this. The Father's blessing.
Thank you, Lord.
You know, a lot of people, as I said, these are things you can't read in school. You can't go to a van and tell people that you want to build up a business. You go for the Father's blessing. He'll tell you, come on. We can't explain it empirically, but you're true. Now, I'm going to read to us, just quickly, Genesis chapter 48. Genesis 48, verse 14. It says, 14, 18, and 19. And Israel stretched forth his right hand and laid it on Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, guiding his hand knowingly. For Manasseh was the firstborn. Now verse 18 says, and Joseph said to his father, not so, my father, for this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He also shall become a people, but he also shall become great, and he also shall become great. But truly, the younger brother shall be greater than he, and his descendants shall become a multitude of nations. Now, fast forward to Deuteronomy. Are you there? Verse Deuteronomy 33:17 says, and say they are the 10,000 of Ephraim, and 1,000, the 1,000 of Manasseh. Now, keep that story, keep that reading. I will explain something to you. I'll give you the background story. This is Jacob. He's about to die. And there is something we call the Father's blessing. And when he's about to die, the right hand is always seen as the place of power. That is, the blessing is much more in the right hand than in the left hand. That's in the Old Testament. Christ Jesus is taking all those things from us now. Where he put those blessings now in our spoken words. Curses are true words, blessings are true words. Are you there? But for us to understand, those are shadow of the things to come. So Joseph said, hey, Dad, he put Manasseh, the elder one, on his right hand, the younger one on the left hand. You remember, the right hand has more blessings. So Joseph said, the elder brother should take more of the blessing. Are you there? So, at this time, Jacob could no longer see. So Jacob said, okay, I know Manasseh will be here, Ephraim will be here. But what did he do? He now crossed his hands. And Joseph said, oh, no. Don't give the bigger blessing to the younger one. Give the bigger blessing to the elder one. Because Joseph said, no, I know what I'm doing. Jacob said, I know what I'm doing. Because this younger one is going to be greater. And Joseph left him. And he released what we call the father's blessing. Now that was in Genesis. Fast forward, Ephraim married. Manasseh also married. And they began to grow. Have children. Have assets. Fast forward to Deuteronomy. He now says, hey, Ephraim had become 10,000. That is the younger one. While the elder one is just 1,000. Now, if you don't trace it well, you have to trace it back to when the father proclaimed the blessing. Are you there? Because it transferred. Now, in the New Testament, when Christ has come and died, we proclaim blessings through the words. Curses come through words. Blessings come through words. So, there is one thing we call the Father's blessing, which may represent your parents, your pastor, a prophetic blessing. That's why I tell people, your pastor may be very friendly with you. He may be your friend. But don't mistake that. Don't make that mistake. Your pastor has a blessing in his mouth that he releases upon you that can fast track your life. Are you there? Your pastor may be your friend. But don't make that mistake, because the blessing that will fast forward your life is with him. I was listening to Joel Osteen some time ago. You know, many of us know Joel Osteen. And I was talking about his brother. He talks about, he makes a lot of joke about him. And he says, that's his elder brother. He said his elder brother said, I know Joel is my younger brother, but now he's no longer my younger brother, he's my pastor. That is somebody that understands spiritual principle. If you are in a church and you don't recognize the leadership of your pastor, I would advise you change that church. Because what your pastor proclaims upon you has the blessing to fast track you. If you are disgruntled with your leader, go and sort it out, or else you will not get that connection. Are you there?
Yeah. Yes.
Go and reconcile. There's the prophetic blessing. This dictates the direction of wealth from the unseen to the seen, like we see the example here. We all know the story of Esau and Jacob. Esau happened to be the elder. We say today, God of Abraham, God of Isaac. Ordinarily, we should begin to say God of Esau. Because Esau is the next one, he's the elder. But he says, no. We say God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob. It should be God of Esau. But remember that story when Rebecca said, your father wants to release the blessing. Go quickly. Get me a young kid, a young goat. Let me make the meal for you like your father likes it, so I can bless you. And he did. And he took the blessing. And we see how he multiplied in the house of Laban. Why? There is something we call the father's blessing. And I would want to encourage, if you have a father, biological father, or a parent, and they are still alive, please make sure you do everything you can do, that they bless you from time to time. Let them proclaim your blessing. If you are a grandmother, proclaim your blessing upon your grandchildren. Because you make the journey of their life easier when you do that. They don't struggle. They get to crossroad, they just find themselves taking the right decisions. And people will say, oh, she's lucky. No. There is something that is working invincible. The intangible wealth that is working, that is making her to take the right decisions. He wants to marry, he marries correctly. He wants to do business, he gets the right business. He wants to get a career, he gets the right career. Please make sure you proclaim the blessing. Prophetic blessing. Not only proclaim it upon yourself, proclaim it upon your children. Proclaim it upon your grandchildren. Don't use curse words. Don't curse your children. Remember, we've said, how forceful are right words? Amen. Job. So how powerful are you when you release blessings? It cannot be empirically explained, like my friend said, but it is most effective and very potent. It cannot be learned in any economic books or finance books, but it is real and it is spiritually designed. The blessing. Somebody say the blessing. Amen. Next. In building, have accessing intangible wealth is you creating system. Create system. Now, this is the story, Acts chapter 6. Acts chapter 6. Acts chapter 6, verse 2 to 4. I read quickly. Okay, let me just explain for time. I want us to take questions today. This is the story of the disciples of Jesus Christ. After the apostles, after they had left, Jesus Christ left, and then the church began to increase and increase. And here with the disciples, they were always serving foods. And people now complain, say, hey, Peter, James, and John, Andrew, Bartholomew, Philip, all of you. Whenever you are serving, because of increase in number, we realize that some people don't get food, some people get food because they had everything in common. So the disciples, the apostles now said, look. We cannot give ourselves to serving tables. Pick among you. Create a system among you. Pick among you, men, that you can, who will take this job so that we don't saddle ourselves. We give ourselves to prayer and consistent fasting, which is our primary duty. So they said, okay. They now did what? They created a system. And immediately they created that system, there was no more complaints. Now, in everything you do, in business, in wealth, in ministry, always ensure you create a system. Somebody say system. Another example is in Exodus chapter 18, verse 21 to 22. This was Moses. They left the land of Egypt. And there were all so many of them. And anytime they had challenges, quarrels, they would bring it to Moses. Moses. And Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, looked at this young man called Moses. How can you be the judge over all these people? You're going to kill yourself one day. I don't want my daughter to become a widow. You think the man loves Moses? Yes, he loves Moses, but he was thinking about his daughter too. This man will kill himself and my daughter will become a widow. I don't want my daughter to become a widow. Can you please do something? Can you pick 70 people? Create a system. Who will judge these people? The difficult ones should be brought to you, so that you don't kill yourself before time. All Jethro was trying to tell Moses is, please create a system. Now, when your business or wealth, whatever God has led you on, is growing so big, please don't continue to embrace it. Create a system. Empower people. Create a system. Let it be on what I call autopilot. So that even when you are not there, it's still moving. It's still on. Create a system. Create a system out of it. Create a system. Many of us don't, even in our homes, we have created systems. Any home that does not have system will always have clashes. When it's going to snow, by default, you know who's going to sweep the snow. Who's going to carry the snow off? If it is in a marriage, if it is in a home, who does the snowing? Who does the packing of the snow? It's the husband. Oh, so, you don't have a choice. You who carries snow is the guy. Is by default. When it's time to buy groceries, you say, okay, this part of the grocery, maybe you. Look at it very well. In every home, you have systems. We have systems that work. Any home that does not have a system is going to run into crisis. Yeah. When it comes to the kitchen, there's a system. Maybe it's the man who can cook better. You just like, okay, this particular meal, he does it. This particular meal, she does it. It's a system. So you don't go back and begin to say, oh, no, I want to do this. No. So what are we trying to say? When you are building a business or a wealth, please create a system. If if you are not there and the work will stop, that is not good. You must create a system. It is an engagement that continues to bring wealth, whether you are there or not there. When you have system, it avoids waste of resources. It avoids waste of time and energy. And it gives you a basis for teamwork. Another, we are cruising now, is meditation. Meditation, I've mentioned it earlier. Meditation is an act of deep thoughts, drawing from the invincible. Joshua chapter 1 verse 8 says, this book of the Lord shall not depart from your mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. Whatever thing you are doing that you are not meditating upon it cannot grow. Meditation is the brewing room to creating wealth. Meditation is that which is a wealth creator that gives attention. That when you give attention to it, it makes your business to grow. Anything you are doing, you must meditate. In fact, I always advise the first 5-10 minutes of when you wake up in the morning, don't rush to pray. Don't rush to read the Bible. Stay calm. Meditate. How will my day go? When you are doing that, get a pen and a paper. Just when you are in the morning, your mind is very much alert. And then just write it down. And then before you go to pray and study the scripture. Meditation is powerful. It's real. Isaac in Genesis chapter 24 verse 16 says, and Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the morning, in the evening. Now when he went to meditate, he lifted up his eyes. Anytime you go into deep meditation, you realize that your eyes is lifted up. You don't meditate and you are always like this. No, disclose it. No. Whenever you do deep meditation, your eyes is lifted. But a lot of us are too busy to meditate. So your eyes is too busy. You will just waste a lot of energy. Meditate. Fast forward to Genesis 26. When Isaac made it a routine to meditate, the Bible says, and this man began to prosper, and he continued prospering until he became very prosperous. He had so much flocks and so much possession, so much great things, so much number of wealth, so much so that people around him, the Philistines, his neighbor, they began to envy him because of the product of meditation. Give time to thinking. Give time to deep meditation. Not everything is meant for you to delve into. Take time to meditate. It's very powerful. That's the success of Isaac's prosperity. He meditated every evening. He meditated in the evenings. So when the enemy came and he built a well and they stuck it up, because his mind was faster, he had meditated. He just went again and built another, dug another well. They dipped, go and read it. They blocked it again, he dug yet another well. A person that meditates cannot be limited. For anyone to be conquered, you must be conquered in the place of your meditation before you can be conquered in life. If you are not conquered in your thinking, your meditation, you cannot be conquered in life. You want to build wealth, please take time to meditate. Don't be in a hurry. To move fast is to have speed. To gain speed is to sit. Before you can gain speed, you must first of all sit. If you are told that you have 7 years to build a business, please don't be in a hurry to run in the first year. You can decide to use the first 2 years to meditate and draw out your plan effectively. People who have moved ahead of you, they will be doing a lot of trial and guesses. But with you that you have taken time to meditate and run out your plan, like I would always say, don't think. Don't think in your mind alone. Think on your paper. You want to do anything, think on paper. As you are thinking, write it down. As you are writing it down, you will see the loopholes. But when you think vague, meditate not only your mind, meditate on paper. Write it down. Yeah. And then lastly, integrity. Lastly is integrity. You want to build wealth? Integrity will guide you. Integrity will preserve you. Integrity will build your wealth. Transferable wealth can only happen when you have integrity. If you don't have integrity, remember what the scripture says. The wicked will lay up treasures and then will transfer it to the righteous. If you don't do it in your days, your children will eventually transfer it when you go on. But when you have integrity, you will be able to do we have what we call transgenerational wealth. You go, your children build on it because you have built on integrity. If you don't build on integrity and you are cutting corners in building wealth, if it is not in your lifetime, give it. In fact, your next generation will transfer it to it's standard. It says the wealth of the wicked, they are just laying it up for the righteous. If it is not in your lifetime, by next generation, your children, they will transfer it. But when you build on integrity, you preserve your brand, you make your brand really, really enduring, and then you increase the lifespan of your wealth. I believe God does not want us to build wealth and it ends with you. No. You must be able to transfer it to the next generation. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.